Hello and welcome to the Full-Thrive YouTube channel where we find clients we like, do work that we love on our own schedule. You know, when it comes to pricing, it's the #1 frustration freelancers feel. Do I charge by the hour? I want to charge project-based and really get paid what I'm worth. But sometimes it's hard to communicate that to a client. In today's session, I talk to the freelancers about when it makes sense to charge hourly and when you should switch to project-based and how you can raise your prices and get paid for being an expert. If you want to know how to do that, stay tuned. It's coming up next. When you work on a project basis, you will start to be seen as an expert. If you have a signature project, that works well with project-based pricing, okay? A process leads itself to project-based pricing. It shows the client you've done this before. You know how long it's going to take. You are guiding them through the process, right? You are taking on the risk. If it's going to take a bit longer or we need an extra revision or blah, 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 you're not going to nickel and dime the client. Oh, it took me an extra hour. I'm going to have to charge. No, you take on the risk of how long the project is going to take, which is why you have to be careful when you first start shifting into project-based pricing. And people buy the process, not just the end results. I told you, they buy 3 things: you, the results, the deliverables, and the process. And when you have a process, you can charge more. For the exact same thing, hear me on this, this is important. For the exact same thing that you would have charged $40 an hour for, because to get me graphic design for blah, blah, blah. When you have a process that is clear and you communicate it well, they will buy into the whole picture. You, who's an expert, has a process, who's going to deliver results, that is more valuable than just 4 hours of your time. I hope this is sinking in. I hope you're getting this, okay? So your job is to sell the value. Clients buy transformation, not time. Good clients buy transformation, not time. Don't sell your service or your skill. People don't want your service or your skill. They want the transformation. Paint a picture of what life will be like working together. Paint a picture of what life will be like for them after they work for you or with you, right? What are the results? Tell them how much money they will be able to make, or paint the picture of how much money they'll be able to make, or how much time they're going to be able to save, which is the same thing as money. It's the selling of the value that allows you to price based on project and to raise your prices. Okay? You want to be able to get them, and if you have the ability to do this, is help them see what is the return on their investment in you. The $1,000, the $5,000 they pay for that project, how much return will they get on that project? All right, so I'm going to finish up here. How do you flip it? Let's say you are on hourly, but you want to go to project-based. How can you flip it? Let's say you start hourly, like I suggested, if it's a brand new client, but you want to flip it to a project base. First, you need to be clear up front. We're going to get started. The first 2 weeks, I'll work on an hourly basis. You want to create milestones. After those 2 weeks, I'm going to come back to you with a revised proposal to show you what it will look like to work on a project basis. Let me give you an example. So I started a YouTube channel. Hello. Thank you. If you have not subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe so that we can personalize that URL and make it easy for people to find. If you want freelancer training like this on demand, I'm dropping a video every week. Go to the YouTube channel. Okay. I had to hire somebody to help me produce YouTube videos. So today's session is going to turn into a YouTube video. Hello. But we did not know how much that cost. So when we first hired the person to do our editing and put this all together and upload it to YouTube, I said, track your hours, track your hours, track your hours. Do 5 of them where you track your hours. Well, guess what? The first one took like 15 hours. Oh my God, it was very expensive. The second one, the third one, we got it down to around 3 or 4 hours. And I said, okay, well, what is a good hourly rate for this? And let's say it was $200 to do a video, 3 hours or whatever. Great. Every time you do a video, it's $200. We flipped it into a project base or kind of like a milestone incentive thing. So you better believe that if it takes him 3 hours, he has so many incentives to figure out how to get it done in 2 hours, because he's still going to get paid the same whether he does it in 3 hours or 2 hours. That is how you start working on that, okay? So you create these milestones for check-ins. You reassess and reprice. You tell them in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, I'm going to reassess this, come back to you, and we're going to reprice it. And then, or you can repackage your hours into a project. So say, hey, listen, this thing takes me, 3 hours all the time. I'm going to turn this into a project and we're going to run it at 3.5 hours and blah, 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 whatever it might be, okay? You need to be consistent in your message and your profile and your discovery call. So what I mean by that is if you work hourly but then flip to project-based, you have to tell people that that's what's going to happen. You don't want to have hourly over here, but on your website, it's project-based where it gets confusing. So you need to be clear. Hey, when I just get started with a client, I always track my hours. Then we stop. We figure out what the project is in your best interest, Mr. Client. So I'm going to come back, and you have to tell people you're going to do that. You've got to be clear. Otherwise, like I said before, you feel stuck. You feel like, oh my gosh, we've been working together for 2 months. How do I all of a sudden tell them I want more money or I want it differently? It's really hard to do that. So if you've set this expectation that you're going to come back to them in 4 weeks with a reassess and repricing, they're like expecting it. So you can do that with more confidence. Hey guys, I hope you found that valuable. Are you looking for more information about freelancing? How to find clients you like, do work that you love on your own schedule? We've got a ton of videos, and if you subscribe, you will always know when the next video drops. We also have a Facebook group called the Full-Thrive Freelancers. We have great discussions over there, Q&A, and masterclasses that you don't want to miss. So if you want to get into a community, check us out there.